It's a new week in the Crew Motorfest, and this week's theme is called Road Course, and this is my summit guide. Let's go. All right, starting out with the cars this week, it's all cup cars. Basically, you need this next-gen Toyota Camry, which I believe is purchasable in the store, and it's a main stage vehicle. You might get a little discount on it. I'm not sure. You also need this Proto Henson Custom, and if you don't know how to get this, this is the playlist reward for the new NASCAR playlist. You finish that, you get this car for free. This is a much faster cup car than the other three. You don't need any of the numbered cars, like the actual official NASCARs. You don't need any of those, just the Camry and the Henson, and you'll be okay. You can use those two for the whole summit. Now, as far as pro settings go, I have a couple of things set up on this Henson. Let's take a look at this. Right now, I'm running all stiff on the Proto Henson. It feels so much better when you have everything stiff. Now, you can run it however you want. This is just how I've got it set up. This one makes the car feel much more responsive and less floaty. On the Camry, I don't have pro settings on it yet. I've yet to actually put this to a test. I need to find a test course to do this with, but you can start with default and increase the stiffness if you want. I think a simple one would be to add a bunch of camber. Just go all the way back to the left on camber, and then the ARBs, you can go full stiff. That'll give you just a base tune. But to be honest with you, I don't have full-on test data for this one yet, so it is what it is. I ran this whole summit on default settings, and I did fine. All right, the rewards this week are 50 prestige tickets for bronze, 100,000 bucks for silver, a Chevrolet Camaro SS Rally Edition car for gold, and then the Rally Inner White tire. So you've got an off-road tire. It's kind of weird that they're giving us an off-road tire as the platinum reward when the summit is centered around road courses. Interesting, but it's a free vanity if you can get platinum, so you should definitely try to do that. All right, let's get to the events. All right, the first event is on the track with the Toyota Camry. I highly recommend a Slipstream partner on this one. The person that you have in Slipstream needs to be of similar skill because you guys need to stay together as much as possible. So on this one, the pit stop strategy is one pit stop at the end of the third lap. So going into the fourth lap, that's when you would want to pit stop. When you do that, you're going to change tires and fill up your gas tank. You're going to need at least 3/4 of the tank in gas, otherwise you won't finish. So make sure you do that. Outside of that, if you're going to do it solo, you can still do one pit stop strategy, but it's a lot more difficult. And so I strongly recommend a Slipstream partner because you can trade off. Only the person in the back gets the benefit of Slipstream. So you need to trade off who's in front, like maybe every lap, or a couple of times on the straights. Just as you get Slipstream and you're passing somebody, just keep going and let the other person sit behind it. I don't know, but you need to switch off. If you're not switching off, you're gonna have to do it twice because the person in the back is going to be the one that benefits the most from this. So anyways, that's it for this one. It's all on the track. There's no cuts. Let's move on. All right, the next race is one of those races where you have to do the 3 little NOS things at the beginning of the race. When the light turns red, you're going to press the gas button, and then it'll turn blue saying that you actually did it correctly. So red, gas button, blue. That's how it works. You need to do that 3 times in a row at the beginning of this race. It gives you all 9 of your NOS shots, basically. You can see on the NOS gauge here on the left that it's sort of a divider. It's a dash line. Each one of those dashes is a single press of NOS. With that in mind, there's 2 places on this race course you're going to need to NOS, and you can do the same thing every single lap. So at the beginning, you're not going to NOS. At the beginning, you're not going to touch your throttle at all until you see the go sign light up. So once it lights up, you're going to go and you'll see it give the car like a boost. Instantly shift to second or third, and then go ahead and use the AI as Slipstream if you have it. Now, you're going to want to pass them, but don't use any NOS yet. The places you're going to use NOS are going to be after this tunnel. So you're going to go left, in the middle of the tunnel. So as soon as you make the left, go ahead and blast the NOS, and you're going to use it again on the main straight. So downshift and brake. Get into this corner here, and then once you're here in third gear, blast it. And those are the 2 spots in the tunnel, on the main straight. Those are the 2 spots. You're going to do that every single lap. What that means is on your last lap, your very last NOS shot, which is going to be the one in the tunnel. See, I have 1 left. You're going to use 1 in the tunnel right here, and then that's it. You're not going to use 1 on the final turn because the final turn is right here by the finish line. You're not going to need the NOS. So there you go. That's the strategy. Let's move on. All right, the third race, I do recommend using the Henson. This is your custom car. If you don't have the parts for this car, you definitely need to get them. Otherwise, your summit scores are going to suffer. At the very least, have max perf level. You can do it in about 20 to 25 minutes using the parts guide that I have linked in the description. If you use that parts guide, you'll get your car leveled up really, really fast. Now, if you have Nitro Chemist, you're going to be at a significant advantage. So maybe go an extra hour, 2 hours, and do your parts grind for your cup cars and get your Nitro Chemist. You need that stuff. For this race, there are a couple of cuts you're going to make. So let me fast forward to those. At the beginning here, you're going to cut across this corner here, right after these little huts. It's the most stable spot that you can do it. And then at the end of here, sometimes you can, a lot of people will try to cut this and go on the inside of the flag. I'll just stay on the road or try to hit the gutter. So on this one, I stayed on the road. It was a little bit slow. On the next lap, I did a little faster. After this bridge down here, you're going to slow down and go across this. Man, I should really show you lap 2. I did it much cleaner on lap 2. Let me go to lap 2. All right, so here's the turn on lap 2. Much cleaner here. Stayed on the road, kept 130. And then after the bridge, slowed down using the bridge on accident. Went through here at 110 instead of 86. So there you go. Then when you get down to this bottom section here, you have a hard left-hander. You can cut the corner. Just don't hit the food truck. And then you're going to cut this final corner here as well near the gas pumps. Aim to the left of the flag. You want to go to the left side of that flag. And that's it. That's all the cuts. All right, let's move on. All right, this next race, I would recommend doing it in the Henson again. Make sure you have your parts on there. And if you have iron grip, if you can re-affix your cars to have iron grip, you will have a much better time on this race, I'm telling you, because you'll not lose as much tire grip. You're still going to lose gas, but not as much tire grip, and that's going to help you with your times. If you have a slipstream partner, that's even better, because that will help you with no matter if you're in the front or the back, you're going to be getting the drag bump or the slipstream. For some reason, it works on this car, doesn't work on the other NASCARs. So with that said, definitely slipstream partner, Nitro Chemist with iron grip and pure. Those are your like parts. Those are the main things. Outside of that, it's just driving. You're on a track, there's no cuts. So there you go. All right, let's move on. All right, the 5th race is back in the Toyota Camry, and this one is back on the Red Bull track. This one, if you do have a slipstream partner, it will help, but it's not going to matter in terms of your grip or, you know, your gas consumption or anything like that, because that's not applicable here. So basically, you just want to, you know, stay with your slipstream partner. If you have one, it'll help you with your speed, but that's about it. Now, as far as your NOS is concerned, since you're on the track, you really need to be using your NOS in the most effective spots, which is going to be the straights. So you notice I'm not using it here, obviously, because I'm, you know, going slow around the corners. Wait until your car straightens out, get yourself in a bigger gear, and then use a bunch of NOS. That's how you're going to want to do this. The same thing when you get outside of the wall turn that's on the other side of this layer. I'll show you this. So on this turn here, you're going to want to use it after you exit this turn. Also, if you exit this turn early instead of late like I did, see how it slips out right at the end? It doesn't do that if you turn earlier. You don't want to like completely lose traction. Here, let me show you. Here's the second lap. So notice I'm a little bit high on the wall, and then I come down right there, and it's less traction loss. It's a little bit easier to control. So if you come down a little earlier, and then obviously use your NOS on the straights. So that's it. Let's move on. All right, the 6th race is also in the Toyota Camry. This one is at night. It's hard to see. There's only one real cut, and I'll show that to you in just a moment. But basically, your NOS management is going to be key here. So you want to make sure you're using a lot of NOS when you're going to use it. And that's going to be up these hills. This first lap, you're going to conserve a little bit because you want it to build up. But basically, you're going to dump every time you get onto these like straighter parts. Let me fast forward a little bit here so you can see what I'm talking about. So we take this turn. Notice my NOS is full by the time I get around this turn. And then when you get here, you're going to be using a lot of it. And then you're going to take this shortcut here. To the left. Try to control the car. Just keep it straight as possible. It's very hard to do. I almost missed the checkpoint, but I still ended up getting a decent time. That's how you're going to want to do it, though. Just go across the dirt, go to the next checkpoint. Notice how much NOS I'm using here, though, on this straight. Use a lot of NOS. And if you can shift up early, that would be best. On this corner here, you can cut it to the left a little. On that lap, I didn't do it, though. Let me show you second lap. Actually, I did this shortcut a little cleaner on the second lap as well. So, cut to the left. Through the grass. And that time I stayed on the road. All right. Now, if we fast forward to this part here. On this left-hander, you cut to the left of the flag. A little early. it helps you because you end up sliding anyway. A little bit nicer way to take it. So anyways, that is it. Let's move on. All right, finally the 9th race. This is the track of the week race. This one is 100% necessary to have a slipstream partner if you want to get a good score. If you're doing this alone, you will not score over 100,000 points, okay? Now, the reason is the slower you do this race, the more points you get. I don't know if they're going to patch this halfway through the week. It might be different, but basically, you're going to have to crash all these AI because the slower you go, the more points you're going to get. Now, when you have 2 people, the strategy changes completely. When you have 2 people, one person just races the race like normal and finishes. The other person needs to DNF and completely crash their car out. Like, just run into all these tire bales, drive in the dirt, just completely crash out to where you basically DNF. If you do that, the person that DNFs is going to get a full score. I'll show you right here. So basically, see, I'm just driving in the sand. It helps crash it out quickly. So now I'm crashed out and completely DNF'd and just spectating my slipstream partner, which is Neomari. So he's here. He's going to finish the race as normal in first place on his own pace. Here we go. And finishes. And here's what it gives me. 157,850, a full score, literally a full summit score. Not only that, but on the leaderboard, it tells me that my time was 30 minutes, which obviously wasn't my time. I DNF'd. But because he finished the race and I DNF'd, that means I got the max score. So 157,850 if you DNF and your partner actually finishes the race. So there you go. All right, moving on to the speed trap. This one's pretty easy because you're going in a circle. Have your partner go in a circle with you. You have a slipstream partner. Just go as fast as you possibly can around the bends here. And when you get to the other side where you're going to drop down into where the speed trap is here, the key here to not lose control of the car is to enter the apron, which is the flat part of the track. Enter that early. Watch how early I enter it. I go in very early to get a nice angle on it. Don't lose control and then blast your NOS right before you get to it. If you have a slipstream partner, you can get a score like this, which is what I get, 244 miles an hour. It's more than enough. You get 140,000. All right, the escape is pretty straightforward. You're going to go the direction that it spawns you. Nothing tricky about it. You just go back and get yourself a little run up like you're seeing me do here. And then once you make sure you hit the escape at full speed here, if you have a slipstream partner, it'll help even more. But yeah, that's it. You just follow this tunnel around, go as fast as you can. So yeah, nothing tricky. That's it. Let's get to the final scores. All right, here are my final scores. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about this, send me a DM on Instagram or Discord. I read every single message that comes my way. That's a real offer. If you have any questions, send me a DM. Don't send me a DM if you just want to chat though. I don't chat. If you have questions about the game or about my content, I'm all ears. If you want to chat about what was for dinner, that's not my thing. Anyway, send it over, man. I'll definitely answer you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Trigger out.